Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with boxer promoter Ben Shalom. Ben, Azim resounding victory over Ohara Davies. Talk me through his performance.
Superb, mature, patient, footwork incredible. Real coming of age performance. I thought Ohara was tough, always live. I've never seen him in the flesh before fight, and I've always looked and been told and talked about how rangy he is. But those right hands can hit you from anywhere, and Adam had to be really alert, and fair play to Ohara because he was well conditioned, had a great camp, and was able to get through some difficult moments and make it a real fight. I thought we got to see Adam, and it's good for the fans to get to see it because Adam's best against the better fighters, and Aaron Fanian was, if you think back, and he wasn't a big name, was a real test, but this was a real headline name, and the main thing was, can he stay calm? And he was calm throughout, and he enjoyed it, and it was a special performance, and really proud of him. Brilliant.
I did see some comments from some hardcore boxing fans saying, look, if Azim came up on the defeat here, this could be the boxer week from hell, really. Was there any kind of extra bit of nerves that could have happened tonight?
You know what? The Fraser Clark incident, was saying it did shake me, not just from obviously him losing, but what happened, and it's like a stark reminder to what the sport is. It's not fun and games. It's serious, and anything can happen, and anything can happen to a fighter. And always, I've said it before, I do get nervous when you're emotionally invested in a fighter. Forget the finances, forget anything else. You know their family, you know how much it means to them. You know that's someone's 22-year-old son. You just want them to get out safe and healthy and be happy with their performance and know that they gave everything. And Adam is extremely happy tonight, and really confident display from Mr. Azim, and yes, he was a lot less nervous than I was.
I would preempt that next week you'll get a loud, strong call from a certain Eddie Hearn as to the next fight, which should be for Azim being Dalton Smith. But from the promoter here of Azim, what's likely the next path, the next step for Azim?
Look, for me, Azim, probably people seeing for the first time, for me, he's a favourite in that fight quite comfortably. And every fight that he has, he's going to get more and more a favourite. It's a great fight, and both lads deserve a big payday when it happens. And I believe it'll happen next year, and I believe it will happen at the right time for them both. It's a massive fight, and we should cherish those big fights and those big nights. And my job is to make sure Azim gets life-changing money when that fight happens, and that's all I'm interested in. But the fight will happen, and they're going to continue to call for Azim, and so are a lot of people. And the more his profile grows and the more active he is, he's going to get more calls and more calls and more calls, and he's got to be able to deal with that. But for me, he's a favourite. He's a favourite in that fight, and this is going to be the favourite in most of his fights in his career. He's that talented. This is a multi-weight world champion, I believe, that we have. 22 years old, doing what he's doing is very special.
Where it's due with spotlighting Dan Aziz and helping push his career, but it's kind of all gone wrong in 2024 for Dan. He's lost to Louis Edmondson now. What's the build back for him?
Very difficult, but take nothing away from Louis Edmondson, who's a fantastic fighter and was confident tonight. And I did believe that he did nick it. I know people perhaps thought not. Bad 24 for 2024 for Dan, but boxing snakes and ladders, isn't it? It's a crazy old game, and all else can say is Dan is a friend as well as a fighter, and I'll continue to support where I can all the time. And let's just hope 2025 is a better year for him.
Did Yard impress you versus Vilkins?
Look, I think he started really well, but I knew Vilkins was a tough guy, a tough opponent, and had joy at times. Yard will have wanted to get a knockout. I think he shows his explosiveness there, but I think he'll be really happy to get the 10 rounds to see where he's really at, fitness-wise, against a real opponent, I believe, and sets up a huge fight.
What's he next?
It's the only fight. It's the only fight. I believe that, if we could fight for the world title next, from a Boatsy point of view, quickly, then that would be the only thing I think that could ever trump the Yard fight. I think that's the fight that the fans want to see, and it's the fight that the fighters want.
I missed it, but I heard that Shannon Courtney suffered defeat on her comeback fight. What's the road back for her? Because this was set up for her to win.
Yeah, it's tough, and I feel for her, and I'm sure she won't feel great about that. Look, I just feel for her right now. I think, it's not it's not ideal for her. But at the end of the day, you know, the better woman won on the night, and you can't have any complaints in this sport.
Two signings. First of all, Frankie Stringer, signed with Boxer. That means, I guess, the relationship with Liam Smith isn't as bad as it was, because he's managing Frankie Stringer, isn't he, as well? But a talent.
He is. He's just a good talent, and to be fair, whatever goes on between me and Liam, it's not going to get in the way of a signing that we think is special. He's been known to us for a while. Been on the GB setup, England setup with Adam Azim, and you know, spoke to Adam's camp as well. He's a phenomenal fighter with a lot of talent, a lot of potential. But we're going to Liverpool in December, and so he'll get to start there. He's been on our shows a few times, but yeah, he's obviously got a very high-profile manager as well.
What does the partnership with Riyadh Season now do for Boxer? What doors does it open?
I think it just allows us to work directly with them. It's been difficult for us at the start, and you know what His Excellency and Riyadh Season are doing in terms of trying to leave politics at the door and not getting involved is very impressive from where I'm stood. It's very easy for people to get into the traps of the old sport and siding with this person and siding with that person. To actually sit above it, you know, you've got Oscar with his big show, you've got Eddie and Frank doing their stuff, we've now got our own stuff. That's what the sport always needed, and the fact that the politics was always what held it back. So I think it's fantastic, and for us, they're going to support us on all of our shows in the UK, which is massive, but also opens up some big doors at Riyadh Season as well, and over the moon for us.
Does this help silence some doubts from people in the industry that say that Boxer's position might be a little bit rocky in terms of Sky Sports boxing the platform?
Listen, I've had it since I started. It's always been rocky. It's always been 6 months left. It's always been 3 months. It's always been this is going to happen. It's always. Listen, I don't think it will happen until they'll stop until I'm Frank Warren's age. So it's comes with the territory, really, especially breaking in and building a business. But we've never been in a stronger position. I can't believe it sometimes when I think back to what we were doing a few years ago to where we are now. It's incredible. You have to roll with the punches, but you know, to be in the position now is pretty special.
Final two from myself. You and Frank Warren have been at loggerheads. This is regarding the gloves and an investigation from yourself, I believe, as to FABIO WARDLEY's gloves. What is the situation with that? Is there an investigation, and what can you say about what Frank Warren has said?
I said we'll investigate. So our team, right, it's been taken way out of context. It's nothing to do with FABIO WARDLEY or Frank Warren doing anything wrong. The gloves were passed by the board, and it was absolutely fair and square. The fact is, we got concerns from a medical professional, concerns from questions from a team that we have to look at. My duty is to put those questions to the regulators or whatnot. Now, that's all I'll say on it more, but to make it into something that is not, it's just typical boxing promoter stuff. And I'd like to emphasise and state, FABIO WARDLEY, nothing wrong, deserves absolutely a huge amount of credit, because I've seen he's been led to believe that we're accusing him of something. Absolutely not. And he deserves all the credit he's getting right now.
Very lastly, I spoke to Derek Chisora about his future, and there's a rumour about him and Jarrell Miller fighting. I then just asked him about maybe him fighting Zhang, because that was a fight he called, and he said, look, Zhang's with Frank Warren, and they said then Bakole was with Frank Warren. Is Bakole with Frank Warren, or is he still with Boxer?
No. I've never even heard that one. Martin Bacole's with Boxer. You guys need to stop just asking or speaking to this person and then saying this. It's all a load of nonsense.
He brought it up.
Pardon?
He mentioned it.
Yeah, but Derek's Derek. Come on. I love Derek. But you also said I shoved Frank Warren last week. So it is what it is.
Sometimes you get information from other places, and I just thought I'd put it to you. No worries, Ben, it's late. Thank you for speaking to Seconds Out.
Thank you very much.